me your secrets, show me your nightmares. All cats are grey in the dark, dear, whether or not you dare.
Welcome to All Cats Are Gray in the Dark. I'm your host, April Simmons. This podcast contains true cases of graphic violent crimes and other stories of a dark nature. Please be advised that due to the subject matter and violent, sometimes sexual content and obscene language, this podcast is not for children or the faint of heart.
Well, hello there.
Hello.
I'm not sure why we're doing terrible British impression, but we're here, as per usual, back again. We've got an episode for y'all about true life Halloween horrors. A list of 13 if we can hopefully get to them all in a timely manner.
We shall see.
Sometimes we ramble a little bit.
We do tend to ramble, yes.
Happy Halloween. This is kind of a last minute episode. We're recording the night before and I'm going to have to stay up and edit all night to finish this. So you're welcome for the 5 people that listen.
You're so cool. You're like on the True Romance. You are the epitome of the napkin. You're so cool.
Oh my Lord. We've got some new countries. We've got some people listening from all over, but we just got some people listening from Portugal and Turkey this week. I was impressed with that.
That's
amazing.
Whoa,
I don't know why you're listening, but keep on listening.
It's our amazing Southern accents. It's exactly what it is.
They're
probably laughing at us.
They probably are. They're like, what is this? What universe have we stepped into? This is some weird shit.
We should talk more with a sweet Southern Belle accent.
Some Gone with the Wind shit.
Yeah.
That's not reality.
Tara.
Except that actually, my stepfather's family all kind of have that. They live in Vicksburg and they have that Georgian accent.
My great aunts who raised me all had that accent and pretty much instilled it in me, and I almost have to make it a point not to talk that way sometimes.
Yeah. All right, let's jump right in. The first case is nicknamed the Candyman.
I just watched a story on this on Netflix or somewhere.
Really?
Yeah. It was super interesting because I would have never thought that it was him.
Person?
Yeah. Well,
this one doesn't keep it a secret. It's kind of right off the bat tells you.
Right.
Ronald O'Brien took his 2 children trick-or-treating on October 31st, 1974. They ran ahead at some point. He gave them pixie sticks he claimed to have gotten from a house that had not answered when they previously knocked. He gave them to some other neighborhood children as well. His 8-year-old son, Timothy, ate the candy. Upon his arrival at home, Timothy claimed the candy tasted bitter, and Ronald gave his son Kool-Aid to wash down the bad taste. Timothy started vomiting and convulsing soon after. He died less than an hour after eating the candy while on the way to the hospital. The motive was insurance money because he had a substantial debt. I think it was over $100,000. O'Brien was shunned and despised by his fellow death row inmates for killing a child and was absolutely friendless. The inmates reportedly petitioned to hold an organized demonstration on O'Brien's execution date to express their hatred. On March 31st, 1984, shortly after midnight, O'Brien was executed by lethal injection at the Huntsville unit, and I believe it was in Texas.
Yeah, it was Texas.
In his final statement, O'Brien maintained his innocence, stating that he felt the death penalty was wrong. He added, "I forgive all, and I do mean all those who have been involved in my death. God bless you all, and may God's best blessings be yours." During the execution, a crowd of 300 demonstrators gathered outside the prison cheering while some yelled, "Trick or treat." And I just had to end it that way because I thought it was funny.
I love that they did that, and also, fuck that guy.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
Fuck that guy in his asshole with a huge fucking pole, because that motherfucker not only killed his own kid, but he's the reason that trick-or-treating was never the same after that. He's the reason that there's all the rumors of razor blades and apples and all that other bullshit, that poison. There were a few, yeah.
Stuff,
but he is the number one reason that trick-or-treating was ruined after that date. So, fuck that guy.
Oh, do you remember the height of satanic panic, though? When people were like, they're looking for blonde-haired,
Oh, I do remember
blue-eyed
that.
children.
That was
and you're
great.
Like, no, they're not.
One, they're not looking for...
Even as a child, I was like, is that for real, though?
No. Yeah.
That's so sad that the adults are like, oh, my God. And I'm over here, like, 8, like, is that for real? I mean, that doesn't sound real.
That's so stupid. But yeah, that guy, I'm glad he's dead, and he was not innocent. They had so much evidence that he killed his own child, and I hope he's in hell right now.
All right. Number 2 is a very convoluted one, and I could not find a lot evidence-wise. I guess the police kept it close to their chest because it's not officially over with yet. It's the Moxley murder. 15-year-old Martha Moxley left her home in Greenwich, Connecticut on October 30th, 1975 to participate in Mischief Night, which included pranks like toilet paper and houses. You know, regular teen stuff. The next day, Moxley's body was found beneath a tree in her family's backyard. Her pants and underwear were pulled down, but she had not been sexually assaulted. Pieces of a broken 6-iron golf club were found near the body, and autopsy indicated that she had been both bludgeoned and stabbed with the club. The main suspects were the Skakel?
I think it's Skakel.
Skakel brothers, nephews by marriage of Robert F. Kennedy. Thomas and Michael both had stories that changed throughout the years, but both admitted to having masturbated at some point outside her window that night, thus explaining why they would possibly have DNA at the scene. But I never actually found, there's not really a lot out there about evidence pointing to either one of them specifically. So like I said, I'm not sure if the cops are just keeping that to themselves or what, but I could not find specifics about the evidence. Thomas was the last one seen with her at 9:30 p.m. on June 7th. At 9:30 p.m. that night. And then on June 7th, 2002, Michael Skakel was found guilty of murdering Moxley and was sentenced to 20 years to life in prison. Thanks to numerous appeals and consistent support from the Kennedy family, you can tell I'm not happy about that.
Yeah, this was total influential here.
Yeah. On November 21st, 2013, Skakel was released on a $1.2 million bond. Along with other conditions, he was to be monitored with a GPS, could have no contact with Moxley's family, must periodically check in over the phone, and would not be allowed to leave the state of Connecticut unless granted permission. Although he has since relocated to Westchester County, New York. State prosecutors in Stamford still have the power to call for a new trial against Skakel. No determination has been made by the state's attorney's office. It sounds to me like they're just going to let him run free because he's a fucking Kennedy.
That's exactly what it is.
And that really pisses me off.
I am not a judge and jury. I can't say that these guys did it. But one, what are these two guys doing jerking off outside a girl's window, for one? That shows deviance right there.
And they both claimed that they did it independently of each other at different times throughout the night. So
see, that makes no sense. That makes no fucking sense.
Weird. It's just plain weird.
I don't buy it. I don't buy it at all. And I think the DNA is from them murdering her.
Think they just murdered her and jerked off on her body?
I don't know if they actually found the DNA on her body, but even if it was somewhat close to it, then yeah. I have a feeling that they're the ones who did it. There were never any other suspects. The Kennedys love to fucking play golf, so they're going to have some golf clubs. Yeah, I think they're guilty.
You want to read the next one? It's a short one.
Sure. Chicago candy murder. Halloween 2011. Letto Peoples became angry when he realized his bag of Halloween candy was missing. He accused his friend, Maria Adams, of taking the candy, and a fight ensued. She threw plates at his head, resulting in a gash on his head. The fight escalated, and Peoples stabbed her with several steak knives. She was pronounced dead later at the hospital. Okay, don't be stealing people's candy. I'm not saying what he did was right. I'm just saying I understand.
I'm not trying to make a joke. I take that shit seriously. Don't steal my fucking candy.
Don't take a fat girl's candy because I'm going to fight.
Well, this is an older man, so I don't...
I'm just saying I understand.
I do understand too. But it's kind of sad that
The
happened. But
death over
time,
candy, in all seriousness,
kind of
yeah, that's just way out there.
I feel bad for the lady. It never even states whether she did take the candy or not.
Right?
Like I think he accused her.
I think he's a little mental. I think the dude.
Just crazy?
I think he has a bit of a mental issue. Yeah. Well, more so than just a mental issue. I mean, he stabbed a woman to death over candy. Dude's fucking crazy.
Okay, you want to read the next one?
The Toolbox Killers, not the Toy Box Killer, which we will have a full podcast on the Toy Box Killer at some point, because he's in my top 10 to discuss. Halloween 1979, Shirley Ledford, age 16, accepted a ride from two men. Her mutilated corpse was found on a lawn 2 days later by a jogger in Sunland, California. The men were Roy Norris and Lawrence Bittaker. She was raped and tortured and then ended by strangulation with a coat hanger. Norris is due for release in 2019.
Yeah, that creeped me out. That's why I added that at the end. Now, they did rape and kill others, but I didn't include those because this one was the only one that occurred
on Halloween.
So that's why I included that one. But if you want to know more about others that they murdered or whatever, then don't be lazy. There's Google.
Let me Google that for you. I have not heard of that one before, or those guys.
I'd heard the term before, but I guess I didn't really know about the.
I've heard it, yeah, and you know what though? Thinking back, I think I have a book on the Toolbox Killers. Did Anne Rule? Anne Rule might have written something about them.
In the course of this, I don't recommend you look this up, but there's audio and there's I looked up the transcription of the audio of them torturing, I think it was this one, or it might have been somebody else. I can't remember, but one of their victims, there's audio and there's transcription of the audio, and I read the transcription, and it is fucking
Are you
terrible.
Sure that's not the Toy Box ones? Because he audio recorded everything.
They didn't record all of this.
Okay.
But there was a recording of one of the victims, and it was fucking honestly traumatic to even look into. So I highly don't recommend you look that up.
The Toy Box Killer's audio transcription and listening to him talk is one of the creepiest things I've ever heard in my life. And the dude was sick.
And they basically, one of them used pliers on her.
Ooh.
While the tape was rolling. And they also made her say she wanted it.
This girl, the Shirley Ledford, that particular one? Because you said that they had killed some more, so.
Yeah, they killed several.
Wow. Okay. Do not hitchhike and do not accept rides from strangers.
Yeah.
I don't know. It doesn't say if she actually knew these men or not. But yeah, 79, I mean, hitchhiking was very popular.
I read she didn't know them, but she was familiar with them because she was a local waitress.
Oh, okay, so she had at least seen their faces before.
Yes.
Okay.
The next one, Nightmare in San Antonio. Robert Contreras, age 22, was dressed as Freddy Krueger, and a group of several other men, I think they were all in costume or at least had masks on, to a party at a home in the 2900 block of Aspen Meadow around 5 a.m. on October 30th, 2016. The group were not recognized by the host, and he did not allow them in. During the ensuing scuffle, Contreras shot the host and 4 others. And Robert Contreras was charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. I don't think anybody died from it.
Doesn't look like it.
But he shot 4 different people.
Just for not being allowed into a party?
Yeah. But I included that one just because he was dressed as Freddy Krueger.
Right. Yeah, Freddy Krueger shot me. Can you imagine the 911 call?
Yeah.
911, what is your emergency?
He's dressed as Freddy Krueger.
911, what is your emergency? Freddy Krueger shot me! What the fuck?
Like, no. I did read another case when I was doing the research for this where a woman was trying to prank her own kids, and she was pretending to be dead or something, and they went next. I don't forget exactly what exactly happened, because I didn't write this one down because I didn't think it was quite as interesting as some of the other. But she had played a prank on her kids, and they ran next door and called the cops and told the cops that Michael Myers had killed her. Oh
my God, that's great. I mean, it's sad, but yeah. Somebody watched a little too much Halloween.
This one's really sad because it's So fucking unnecessary. Number 6, the egging. Carl Jackson, a 21-year-old programmer from the Bronx, was driving his girlfriend and her son home from a Halloween party. Some teens threw an egg at his car, and after a confrontation, they followed him and shot him to death.
Wow. Well, it's the Bronx. So the Bronx is, I'm not going to say that it's not Chicago by any means when it comes to violence, but somebody throws an egg at my car in the Bronx, I'm just going to keep driving until I reach the nearest police station. Yeah. It's pretty dangerous.
You want to read the next one? It's kind of a long one.
Virginia abductions. 2009, 3 teenage girls were attacked as they were walking home from trick-or-treating in the Dell City area on a rainy Halloween night. They were cutting across a shopping center parking lot when Thomas pulled out a lighter that looked like a gun and asked if they had money. When the girls said they did not, Thomas ordered them to a wooded area behind the store, told them to drop their bags full of candy. He then took them to a clearing down a hill where he told them to lie face down on the ground. He sexually assaulted the two 17-year-old victims, but the 16-year-old was able to text her mother from the scene. He's been tied to 13 rapes through DNA.
Mm-hmm. They suspect
I am
more also.
Thoroughly glad that he did not kill them, that it wasn't a real gun.
It makes me wonder if she hadn't called somebody.
If he would have.
If he would have finished them off or something.
I wonder
like
too.
He was very experienced.
That was 2000. So that was 10 years ago. I haven't heard of this one, but that's terrifying. It also makes me wonder if that's where M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong got his idea for Split.
Yeah. Because,
the abduction in the parking lot and all of that. So that's sad. And minors too. Any rape is tragic and sad, but 2 17-year-olds and a 16-year-old, that's just, they're going to have to be in therapy for years after that. I can't imagine.
Oh, yeah.
And tied to 13 rapes through DNA.
Yeah. Like I said,
that 16-year-old's a hero. She is absolutely 100% a hero. Not only did she save her friends, but to be able to help catch someone that's tied to 13 other rapes and getting him off the street, she's a hero to me.
Yeah. All right, we're going to take a quick break because we're about in the middle of the list. We're going a lot quicker than I thought we would.
Good. Do you like it deeper, harder, wetter?
I do.
And full of sexy, racy language?
I do.
Pelvic Sorcery is 2 Southern redheads discussing their own personal experiences in the bedroom and all the terrible advice they can possibly give on the subject of sex and relationships. Listener discretion is advised.
It is.
We're back from break.
Welcome back, everyone.
Now I got to get my notes back out because I closed them for some stupid reason.
I did too.
we're
so scatterbrained.
We're so professional. Do you want to read the next one or do you want me? It doesn't matter.
I'll let you because I'm still looking to where mine went.
Okay. This one's called The Son of Sam Prediction. Halloween 1981, Elizabeth Platzman, 19, and Ronald Sisman, 39, were beaten and shot at their Greenwich Village apartment. The place was torn apart as if the killer or killers were looking for something. Here's the weird part. The police received a call from an informant that another inmate had predicted the event. This inmate had stated that a cult he was in was going to torture and perform a ritual killing on Halloween. He described the location as a photographer's residence in Greenwich Village. Supposedly, the cult had incriminating evidence, a video of one of the Son of Sam killings. That's right, the inmate who made this prediction was none other than David Berkowitz.
Okay, that's fucking creepy.
Isn't it though? Because I've never heard of this, and
I've never heard of
Berkowitz,
this.
But I've never heard of this, and so I included that because it happened on Halloween, and then because it was related to Berkowitz.
It couldn't have been him though, because he was behind bars, right?
But it was a couple of weeks before this happened that he stated that this was going to happen, and it was a photographer. The man that was killed was a photographer. And the place was torn apart like they were looking for something. And according to Berkowitz, the guy had a video of one of the Son of Sam killings. And what I don't get, though...
Why didn't that photographer turn that in, though, if that's true?
According to some of the stuff they read, the cult was afraid he was about to trade in that evidence because he
But why would
basically had some drugs. He was involved in some drug stuff too, and he was going to give that shit to get himself a plea deal.
Okay, that makes more sense. I was going to say, what does that have to even do with the cult, though? You know,
and I've never heard that Burke was in a cult, but I know Berkowitz said all that bullshit about a demon telling, or the demon dog,
the dog,
that shit. But I've always thought that was bullshit. But anyway,
me too. It was a cop out. Yeah.
He may be crazy, but I don't believe in any of that shit.
No, I don't think a dog who said he was God.
It's weird that he says that he was in a cult and that the cult was going to do this, and he was actually in prison, so he himself could not have done it. So that just weirds me out a little bit. What if he is telling the truth? What if that?
Though, he had a lot, as most serial killers do. You got these weird fucking stalker creepy people that feel drawn to serial killers and other people in prison and start becoming pen pals and writing to them all the time and doing their bidding. There's been some serial killers who have had some of the people that have written to them go do bad things. I think Manson ended up having a few people go do some bad things for him through letters in prison. Yeah. Son of Sam could have got one of his little bidders to go do this and then predicted it. Ooh, I don't know. That's just a theory of mine.
Okay. You want to read the next one?
The trick-or-treat murder. October 31st, 1957, the doorbell rang after 11 p.m. and Peter Fabiano and his wife and stepdaughter were not expecting company. Peter answered the door and was shot. He died after arrival at the hospital of massive bleeding. He was 35 years old and owned 2 beauty parlors with his wife. The police...
Which I hate to say this, but it made me immediately think, was he like secretly gay or something?
Owning a beauty shop?
Owning beauty shops?
Well, he owned it with his wife, so he might have just financed his wife's, whatever. Yeah. The police initially thought that it was a drug or gang related, but found no ties to that world. A confidential tip a week later broke the case wide open. Golden Pizer was arrested, and she confessed to her part in the killing. She stated that a former employee of Peter named Joan Rebel had talked her into committing the crime. Joan had convinced her that Peter was an evil man. As it turned out, Peter had attempted to put a stop to Joan's friendship with his wife, Betty. The woman accepted a plea deal for a lesser time, possibly because being a lesbian was illegal at the time.
Yeah, so there's no official that they were together, but at least the one chick had feelings for the wife, so yeah.
Okay. Weird. It reminds me of the Long Island Lolita type thing where you just open the door and get shot and not even know why, but okay. Well, now she's going to get all the lesbian action she wants, huh?
Right. I think they're actually both, since they accepted the plea deal, I think they're both out by now, or maybe
it could be.
They may be dead by now. That was like in the 50s.
No, 1957.
So they may be passed on by now.
It could be.
Probably had to look further into it. I'm just trying to tell these quickie stories for Halloween.
Quickies, lesbians, we're all about
lesbians and quickies, our favorites. Anyway, okay, not necessarily our favorite, but
not favorite, but yeah, we're not against it. We're fine with the LGBTQIVR whatever community. They keep adding these fucking letters to it. You might as well just do the whole alphabet. I'm down. I'd do the alphabet. Would you do it?
Anyway, the next one is Cindy Song, and that's actually not her name. She's Asian, but that's what people called her, was Cindy. So I just left it that because I was like, I'm going to butcher her pronunciation on her name anyway.
Okay.
Halloween 2001, Cindy was age 21. She attended a costume party with friends. Afterwards, they supposedly dropped her off at her apartment, and she was never seen again. In 2003, police connected possible serial killer Hugo Selinski to her disappearance. 5 bodies were found on his property, and years after that, they uncovered more remains on his property, but none ever matched Cindy, so they still don't know where she is.
Do you know where this was? I don't know this serial killer, and it doesn't say what state that it was in.
I didn't write it down, but it's pretty easy to find if you just type in Cindy Song. I should.
You're gonna make me Google, right?
I'm
Google
sorry.
that shit.
I'm sorry. That's one of the details I missed.
I
basically just looked all this stuff up and kind of reworded it in my own words.
I haven't heard of that one. I'm going to have to look that one up. 5 bodies found. I mean, that 3+ is considered a serial killer, but
yeah, but
I don't know that
never
one.
found her, so I'm not sure. Maybe somebody completely unrelated. I don't know.
Could be. And they still to this day have never found her.
No, they haven't found her.
Wow.
This one I included just because I found it highly entertaining.
Okay.
This one's not really a sad one, unless you can't have a sense of humor about mental illness anyway. A Tennessee woman and married mother of 3, Candy Cridell, was taken into custody after being arrested for wearing circus makeup and chasing cars, along with being publicly intoxicated and making non-emergency 911 calls on Halloween. According to the arrest warrant, Cridell was partially naked, wearing a stocking cap on her head while running after cars along Lewis Road in Cunningham, jumping in and out of traffic. When the deputy went to Cridell's home, she answered the door, smelling of alcohol, wearing a sports bra, pajama pants, stocking cap, and clown makeup on her face and body. Basically, that's
just a weekend for me. That's just a Saturday night.
She was topless. It didn't specify in this particular article, but I had read several different articles before I wrote this. She was topless, but she had clown makeup on her chest also, as well as her face. So she was just covering up her titties in white clown makeup or whatever.
I would like to see a video of that.
Maybe there's a porn out there somewhere where we reenact.
Clown porn is so funny.
And
not just because it's clown.
That's one of those few things that I haven't been there, so I'm not sure.
You should watch some clown porn. It's really funny,
especially
midget clown porn. Midget clown porn.
Oh God,
it's the best.
I have watched midget porn a few times.
Bridget the Midget. Did you know, this is totally off topic, Bridget the Midget just got arrested for domestic violence.
Really?
She stabbed her boyfriend in the leg. Can you imagine? In the yard. She chased after him.
Can you imagine the cops trying to write up the report without laughing their ass off? I mean,
porn star Bridget the Midget. She's so awesome. Well, now she's not. I mean, she's aggravated assault, but I can't remember the reason. It was like a stupid reason or something too, but yeah.
Okay, number 12, clown assault. This one is
another one.
Terrible. No, this one's terrible though.
Okay.
Halloween 2014, Montgomery, Illinois, at a haunted attraction, a lady that had brought 4 children were approached at the and as they were nearing the ticket window by 2 men dressed in clown costumes. One had a teddy bear with a vibrator attached to it. He waved the toy at the teen that was in the group, simulated sex acts on the bear. The other clown poked the teen with the sex toy while making explicit remarks. The men pled guilty to disorderly conduct.
They should have been arrested for way more. I wonder if they were arrested for something like, attempted assault, because that's assault. When you're touching someone, especially with a sex toy, I was going to say they must have taken a plea deal, but they shouldn't have been allowed a plea deal. No. I do not approve. I do not condone that behavior really whatsoever. I am one of the biggest perverts you will ever meet. I love to talk about sex. I love to have sex, but that's fucked up.
And uninvited shit like that.
That's non-consensual anything it just infuriates me. It makes me so mad.
You want to read the last one?
Prank gone wrong. October 31st, 1885.
Yes, this is an old one. We went way back for this one.
Patrolling the Capitol late at night, a Capitol police officer roamed through darkened rooms until he reached Statuary Hall. Yeah. The unsuspecting officer heard groaning from a corner and proceeded cautiously until he spied a spectral figure. He drew his revolver and began firing, unaware the suspected ghost was his fellow officer in disguise. Fortunately, for both men involved, the new officer did not have good aim. Several errant bullets scored the wall in the old house chamber. This practical joke soon became the stuff of legend, woven into the rich tapestry of strange and haunting stories associated with the house side of the Capitol. That dude is fucking lucky. And what kind of cop are you that you just start randomly shooting into the fucking dark? It could have been a kid in there.
I know.
That's messed up, man. Don't.
But I included it just because it's Halloween and it was kind of a
Right,
prank
and it's
gone
on
wrong.
prank gone wrong. But please do
And
not
because it was so
discharge your
old,
weapon unless you can.
1885, that's a long time.
Do not discharge your weapon unless you can actually see what you were shooting at.
And that's the end of our list. We actually made it through.
We
quicker
went
than
through that
expected.
really fast.
But that's cool because we got other stuff to record. So, shout out this week to Active Shooter and TNT Crimes and Consequences. We traded reviews this week and they were really cool. I enjoyed it listening to their show. So check those both out. And if you care to donate to us, by the way, we don't have a Patreon yet or anything. We're not that popular yet, let's face it. But we do have a donate button on our Anchor site. So if you look us up on Anchor FM, we do have a donate button.
That would go towards better microphones so you can hear us better.
We would go towards better microphones and possibly food because let's face it, we like food.
Go buy some damn cheesecake.
We're going to buy cheesecake and fried chicken. We like food. So if you want to donate $1 or $2, we're not going to follow you. But we're not kidding ourselves that we're popular enough to get a Patreon yet. So we'll worry about that later.
Right.
Also, all our, I've got a ton of credits this week. There's a lot of sites to put together that list. So those will be in the show notes. If you want to contact us, you can contact me, April, at mangledfairy@gmail.com or Sahara at allcatsaregreyinthedark@mail.com.
Or schizoat@gmail.com.
Yes.
That's my personal. You can send me any kind of sexy questions you have.
And we are going to probably do an episode with listener stories at some point. So if you got a scary story or a true crime story,
we'd love to hear
sure
them.
Be sure to hit us up in our email. And we're also going to start posting we've got a phone number too where you can leave a voicemail for us. Let's see. And you can look us up on Instagram or Twitter at All Cats Podcast. Those are the things. And we also have a Facebook group at All Cats Are Grey. I think that's pretty much it.
You can find us anywhere and everywhere.
Yeah, just look us
We're
up.
in your closet right now.
All Cats Are Grey in the Dark. Go find us. Oh, and yeah, we need to get this right. 1, 2, 3.
Talk hard.
Oh my God, we got it.